What's up, everybody? You are on another episode of we'll figure out the name at another time.
Let's go.
I don't really know. How's everybody doing today? Tevin, my brother, how you feeling today?
I'm feeling amazing. I am feeling amazing, I'm going to start off the episode with a hot take.
Okay.
If you still running your tax prep business like a small business, you hustling backwards. And I'm going to tell you why in a second.
Elaborate, bro. Elaborate. Please, you can't start off like that and leave the people guessing, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we can get into it, right?
Yeah.
This episode right here is about the early days, right?
Okay.
We ain't know no better. We was young. We was stupid. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
In the early days. But it's too many tools out here, wink, wink, smart whiz, to be doing it like it was in the early days. People can make a lot more money faster, better, more efficient in 3 months. That's for sure.
That's a fact. I ain't gonna lie. That's a fact. Okay. So you said we taking it to the early days, right? The early days. What made you even want to get into tax preparation?
What made me get into tax prep?
Cause I'll tell you what made me get into tax.
All right, what tell me about it. Yeah.
You know, y'all know how them those network marketing calls go, where it's like they like, yo, hop on my Zoom real quick. You know what I'm saying? And let me break down some game to you. So that's what Tevin did, right? He's like, hey man, let me hop on my Zoom real quick. So it was me and another guy on the Zoom, right? And we're like, all right, bet. And Tevin's like, all right, what's the one thing everybody got to do? And I'm like, shower. He's like, close, but that ain't it. And I'm like, dang, I don't know. He's like, you gotta file taxes. And I'm like, oh snap, that make a lot of sense. Then he went into a whole pitch on why we need to do taxes. Now the other guy was like, hey man, my phone about to die, so I'm gonna head out. I was interested because I was like, yo, I need to make some money. And Tevin painted out this picture of like, yo, this is how you can make $1 million doing taxes. And I'm like, okay. It ain't work like that the first year.
Nah,
it ain't work like that the first year. But that's what got me interested. It was a money game.
Let me tell you, I had a game plan. So I did math, y'all. I'm an engineer, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, let me do some math. I was like, all right, if I could get this many people doing tax returns for this many people, that's going to make me $1 million. So that was my whole goal, right? That was my whole goal. I didn't know there was a lot more into like what it takes to run, right? So I was able to get a couple of friends. All right, y'all, we about to do this. Let's go get these tax returns. What we said, all you need to do is get a couple of people too, right? That's how we really started, just so y'all know. That's how we really get some other people to do these tax returns with you. And now they only got to do 7 returns a day. A week. They do 7 returns a week. That's gonna be what's the average prep fee by $300.
Yep.
You do the math.
Yep.
But in 3 months, you got enough people doing it, you gonna make $1 million, right? That was the first part. So tell me about how it was trying to get like tax pros to like believe in a vision too. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. I definitely remember that. Tevin broke it down like, yo, man, if you could just they do a return a day. And I'm like, just a return a day? That sounds easy.
Easy.
Everybody can do a return a day. No, they can't. No, they can't. No, you cannot. Not out the gate. You know what I'm saying? So I remember, we were like I said, we always thought big. So it's like, man, okay, first step first, find tax preparers, right? Find tax preparers. And I'm scratching my head. I don't know how to go about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of like posting on Facebook, no likes. I'm posting on Instagram, no likes. And Tevin had called me one day like, hey, man, this dude just found like 7 tax pros. I'm like, how? Where are these tax preparers located? He's like, yeah, bro, just Craigslist. And I'm like, Craigslist? That's it? So I remember I posted something on, I think, Craigslist and Indeed, like, yo, I'm hiring tax pros for my tax preparation business. Tap in today. Literally 400 applications out the gate. And I'm like, oh, we lit. But then I realized like, oh, I don't got no system to like communicate with everybody. So I'd get off my job. After I get off work, I had like a 45-minute commute back home. I'm just calling people that applied like, yo, I'm such and such. Who are you? Okay. You interested in doing taxes for my tax prep business? I'll pay hourly or whatever, right? Getting people locked in. And I'd be on the phone interviewing tax pros until like 11 p.m. at night,
Yeah.
just trying to get them into the fold, right? And we did all right though. I think we had I think we were able to get 100 tax pros to sign up with us for the tax season. Now the issue is we didn't know taxes.
We didn't know taxes.
That's the issue.
Yeah, and the feedback over that, like think about this. Imagine getting a call at 11 at night. Your phone ring. You like, who is this? 11 o'clock. Somebody calling you like, hey, you available for an interview? That's weird, no. That's how you know we agree to this business stuff, right? But going into what he said, like, okay, we get the 100 people, and we figure out real quick that they expecting us to like train them, whether that's on our software, whether that's on our systems. Yep. We were like, okay, let's make sure that they like up to date on tax law. So like if you go work for like H&R Block, like no matter how many years you have, they usually make you sit through their training or whatever for the 6 weeks, right? So we're like, oh, we got to put that together. But like when you don't know taxes, you're like, I don't even know what to put together to teach them. So what I did was, this is how we got on Zoom. So we was on Zoom before a lot of people, right? We're like, all right, we're going to get all these people on Zoom because we had these tax pros from all over the U.S. Yep. And I found this IRS tax training, like little pamphlet type thing online. And it's so funny now that I know it was so high level, right? I literally would get on the Zoom. All of these tax pros, 10, 20, 30 years experience, they get on there 100 deep. And then I'll be like, all right, we're going over EIC. That stands for Earned Income Credit. All right. So earned income credit is when you can, and I'm reading it. I don't even know what I'm talking about on there. And I'm reading off of the Irish list and all of this kind of stuff. It is crazy because people still used to come back every night.
People came every night, man. People came every night. That jump was crazy. It's just like, nah, you take a couple of guys who don't know anything about taxes, anything about accounting, really don't know much about business, and it's like, hey, give 100 tax pros to them, and it's like, can you teach them taxes in real time?
Yeah.
That junk is crazy, bro.
Yeah, straight up.
That junk still don't make no sense.
Straight up, it don't. And it got to the point to where, like one guy kind of called us out. He sent an email like, yo, like, y'all don't know taxes. Like, how y'all own a tax business? Y'all about to run a tax business. Like, is this even for real? He went off on a long email.
How many people ended up going into the tax season with us? Because we didn't keep all 100. I know that. I know we eventually they're like, ain't no way y'all for real. They're like, ain't no way y'all really got tax preparation online.
Yeah, so what the first part of that wasn't even because of them not believing in us. In that first year, we were using one of the tax softwares, Crosslink, who was trying to figure out a way to like distribute this to tax preparers all over, like, or whatever. They didn't get it done in time. That wasn't even our fault. You know what I'm saying? They weren't even our fault. So we was trying to have to figure out like how to get them access to this desktop and all of these, because some of these people had PDNs, while some of these people had EFINs and all of that kind of stuff. So that's what really failed, you know, at the end of the day. But we still went in about 40 strong. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
We went in 40 strong, but I think that's the kicker, because I think so. Like, so this was the thing. So we promised these tax pros, we're just like, yo, like, you got our product, you got our systems, where you're in the fold. You do clients, you know, you get paid for the clients that you do. That's when we realized, okay, it's real tough to get clients. So then we were like, hey, like, no, we'll help you get clients, right? So I remember like my very first tax preparation post, man, like introducing to the world Olu, your favorite tax pro.
Yeah.
Arms folded, suit on, looking like I mean business, breaking down my offerings, the advances, what the fees are, what I can do for you. 0 likes. 0 likes. 0 likes across all platforms. I got a lot of friends. 0 likes. Everybody, nobody, not one person. So I was like, all right, let me try hitting up like family, friends and family. Like, let me just, you know, like, you got to get boots to the ground with it. So it's like, I started hitting up my family and stuff like that. And it's like, yo, come file with me.
Crickets.
Nah, Playboy. I don't know about that. That's the government now. You know about the government. And then my pops like, I don't know, son. I don't know. How was it when you were going for your clients?
Yeah, when I was first trying to get the first set of clients, yeah, like I think it only took me asking one or two family members to realize, like, all right, this ain't the route.
I think I did 7 my first year.
Yeah,
I think I did 7 returns my very first tax season. I did 7 returns. That was my mom, my sister, and 5 just loyal friends. Like, man, I'm gonna support you.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, yeah. And I think that's what we end up cracking the code. So, all right, take notes. So this is where we first got the first understanding of the brand ambassador program, right? Because we realized this. We was just putting it out there. We started trying to market. Man, I'm talking about first year. Was it the first year we had TV? TV.
Yep.
TV commercial. Real life, right? We didn't know that TV was only like, it only cost about $100. Like, people don't know that. Like, you can get on TV and get a local TV commercial right now, right? So we did that, and like, that helped us though, because everybody like, oh, y'all on TV with it? Y'all big business. Yeah, we big business. You know what I'm saying? Then we got on radio. And it's the same way. Like, you pay for a couple amount of spots. Like, it really ain't that much money, but a lot of people don't know it. It make you official. And even still with that, like, we still weren't getting no motion. You know what I'm saying? And what we started realizing was the people that was coming in, that was trying us, and no, we only did 100 returns our first year, right? Was from somebody else's relationship or somebody else's referral.
Yep.
So that's when we first started like really doubling down on like, hey, you get your friends, you get your family, tell them how great a job we done. And now they not selling themselves, because people, you know, like you said, like I saw a post from Mark Zuckerberg. He was like, your clients will become friends faster than your friends will become clients, right? And that's true. But when you telling them about something else as a referral, like you telling your friend like, hey, you need to check them out, easy money. And that's what started the referral program, which we'll get into, you know what I'm saying?
I feel like this be a good time to mention, because like, which one would you rather do? So like, if you go to Rotten Tomato and you see a movie that is critically acclaimed, Oscar nominated, Grammy nominated, whatever it is, right? And you're like, okay, these reviews are good, right? And then your best friend calls you like, yo, I just left the movie theater and you got to see this movie today. Yeah. It was crazy. It was wild. Which one would you see? You know what I'm saying? I think we just caught on to that early with the, oh, snap. Like, no, if you can just get enough people to get their friends, eventually everything compounds over time. You know?
That's big business. That's any business too. Like, it ain't even just tax prep. All right. So now once you start figuring that out, you start figuring out that you got to operate and support. Because remember, we told you we ain't no taxes, right? So that first year, right, we called ourselves, we picked up quickly that a lot of this tax return is data entry. So we like, let's go hire all of these tax pros. We got some tax pros in our back office, and they gonna knock out these tax returns. We gonna manage and we gonna market and we gonna get the relationships going or whatever to get clients in the door. And man, within the first 2 weeks, all my tax pros quit. All of them. They was complaining behind my back, saying this dude don't know what he doing. He don't know what he talking about. Why we working for him? No, they like 40 something. You know what I'm saying? And I'm 23 at the time. And all of them quit. Came in one day. I'm like, yo, what up? And they're like, oh yeah, they ain't coming no more. And I was like, what?
Welcome to seasonal hire. That's the issue, man. That's the issue with tax preparation. I'm telling you, because it's like you can find people to work for you, but because it's like, yo, it's a seasonal job, they don't really got no loyalty to you. At any instant, your business could literally be flipped upside down, and it's like, okay, how do you cover this gap now in your business. Because if you crack the code on marketing, great job. But if you lose all your customers, then it's like, well, what'd you really do?
What did you do? Yeah, you don't got time to train. You don't got time to get people up to speed. You know that it's mission critical if you get it wrong, right? That's one of the reasons that we built this software at the end of the day. And that's when they have to realize real quick, like, oh, snap, I'm going to have to learn taxes, right? And it's funny because in the early days, it was like, learning by fire, right? So anybody who's really done tax prep, you understand that like you don't know all the tax law at first. I don't care who you are. They try to, it don't matter if you went to school for accounting, all of the different things. Like when you first get into it, it's just getting exposed to more scenarios, getting exposed to different situations, getting exposed to a form that you may not never seen before from a different state. And what we realized was like, oh, this thing is tough. This thing is complex. So my first time trying to like get together a tax return myself, like entering it, figuring out where things go and so on and so forth. I'll never forget calling. I was on three-way with the person who referred her to me and trying to get his quote. So this guy had like 3 kids. So for all my tax pros, this guy had 3 kids. I think he made about $25K or whatever the case is. Ideal client for earned income credit, child tax credit. Called him. I'm like, yo, you getting back $2,123 after our fees. Silence. Hey, man, hello? Did you hear me? You get back $2,123, right? And he's like, hold on, you got all my information in there? I'm like, yeah, you know. He like, why I'm only getting $2,000? Remember, I don't know taxes. I'm like, well, you know the way that the earned income credit work. I'm trying to remember. What I read on the IRS. You got my earned income credit on that? Yeah, you know, according to the earned income credit, 12 months living with the. I just going to what I know. Man, I'm just talking. I'm rambling now. I don't know what's going on. They told me I got to check my tax pro and everything. And he just literally like, hey, bro, this ain't it. I'm going to talk to you later. You know what I'm saying? He hung up the phone. I'm feeling defeated, bro. I'm feeling defeated. And I went downstairs and showed my pops, like, yeah, just lost a client. I gave him this quote and all that kind of stuff. He like, oh, yeah, you got a doom, 9,300. I'm like, woo. Crazy. Now, let me share my story. If you're not a real tax pro unless you have a story where EIC messed you up. I don't believe none of your tax stories, none of your business, if you don't have a story where EIC messed you up. So Tevin learned taxes the first year. We're in year 2 of business, so I'm starting to learn taxes, right? So we have like a physical location, just like a little hole in the wall type of office or whatever. We have some clients walk in, right? There's a mother and daughter. I'll never forget. It's late too. It's like 7 p.m., 8 p.m. Tax season, you're working to the midnight oil, right? Yeah. So they come in, they sit down, they're excited, they got their documents. This is my first return live. So my hands are kind of sweaty, but I'm like, hey, I'm gonna figure it out. I put it in, put the stuff, I'm talking to them a little bit. They're just looking at me, right? Because if you ever do like returns in person, they always are looking at you like, what you got? You done yet? You done yet? Where I'm at right now.
Yeah, where am I at? What is it looking like? You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, oh yeah, no, I got you. Finish it up. Tell them the price. Hey man, it's gonna be about $1,300 that you're getting back. Now it's the mother with her daughter, so she looking at me like, huh? And I'm like, oh, okay. So I had to start going back in the return, doing the things, trying to figure out. Then I hear Tevin in the back like, hey bro, try this. And I'm like, okay. So I tried that out. He's kind of coaching me on the side. So eventually the mother realized, like, oh, nah, he's the real tax pro. Gets up from my seat, sits down with Tevin. Tevin gets him back like $13,000. They start dancing in the office, turning up, having a good time. The mom then goes and says, hey, Tevin, what do you like to eat? Tevin's like, I love chicken wings. She leaves the office, gets him a 12-piece hot lemon pepper for my people in the South, comes back to the office, gives it to him, says, hey, I'm out. Now, your boy was hungry that night. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm looking like, oh my God.
Yeah. No, man, it is so crazy because, like, you know, the cool thing was, like, once you get through that, if you like the person that's like want to master, so hey, that's like that Michael Jordan story.
Yeah,
I took that personal. You know what I'm saying? Hey, after my first time of getting that, I was like, oh, I'm about to learn this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm about to learn this, and that's what got me to the point where I could even get that advice, right? And it was so crazy because so after that, right, you get that experience. And what you realize with this whole tax prep thing is like, oh, you gotta like operate, right? And one thing you learn real quick is people don't play about their money.
Say it again.
You know what I'm saying?
Say
People do not play about their money. So we getting blown up, phone ringing off the hook every day. Hey, what's the status of my refund? Hey, what's going on with this? Hey, I sent this 2 weeks ago. What's up, right? Because at that time, we was trying to be fully virtual. We took some people in person or whatever at first, but we was really trying to be virtual, and we had no systems to be virtual, right? So we used to we were working engineering jobs. We'll get off work, come into the office, and we'll have the names of the people on a whiteboard with like a status. So we looking at the whiteboard like, all right, let's go look into this one. Where we at with it? Oh, we waiting on this. Did they turn that in? Okay, no. Go to the next one, so on and so forth. Well, the thing is, when the whiteboard get 20 deep, you know what I'm saying? Like, you start losing sight. And now you run around with the chicken with your head cut off because you get a call about this. So now you're like, okay, let me context switch to do this. Yeah. You was just entering somebody else, and now you stopped. You forgot where you was. You ain't update the whiteboard, you know what I'm saying? And somebody else called about this. Man, we was to the point to where we were working. We had to be at work with 6 a.m., 6:30, 7 a.m. at our engineering job. Get off, 4:30, 5 o'clock, tap into the tax office, and then stay up to about 2 a.m. For 100 returns.
Crazy.
For my tax pros to know. For 100 returns, right? The systems was that bad. Like, the systems and the flow and the back and forth communication and the calls over and over and over. They enter in a return, like, but they send me this. To starting over to calling them, then to starting another, say, I don't got this, and this. Let me see if I can get on the phone. They ain't there. So, guess what? They call me back when I'm in the middle of the next one. Hold on, let me pull you back up. Bro, we just like, this is tough. This is tough.
I think the thing that makes me think of it, because it's like, it's one thing, man, because like you said, it's like, when you really, because 100 returns, it still is a lot of returns, but it's no money. And like, real tax pros understand, like, 100 returns is good, but it's not like a lot of money. So we're working hard for that little bit of change that we got, doing the things. But without proper systems, gaps occur, right? And I think some of like the biggest gaps was customer support. I think you kind of said it best, man. It's like, man, one thing I learned with tax preparation, people do not play about their money. They do not play about their money at all. So I think it was a situation where a client wanted to file with us. We filed the return, but it wasn't what they expected, right? So they're blowing us up on the phone, and we're, trying to help them and sort them out. But it's like, we filed you a week ago, and we got new people here today. So it's like, it's going to get lost in translation some type of way, right? So the client starts getting a little bit more frustrated, and eventually it's not a easy conversation anymore. It's a little bit of like, where y'all located? Because I got to see y'all. You know what I'm saying? I got to see y'all. And I think in real time, now don't get me wrong, it definitely was our fault. And we refunded them the prep money and came out of our pocket and gave them what the IRS would have gave them, right? But I think in real time, it's like, no, like, you learn quickly, people don't play about their money. And it's like, if you really going to take this business thing serious, you can't play about your business, right? Yeah. And it's like, you got to stay up late. And that's what caused the late nights. It's like, hey, no, we will never let that happen again. So until we get proper systems, or what we eventually did was just build our own, it's like, we got to figure it out.
Yeah, for sure. I think that the takeaways, even from the early stages, that helped us, that set us up for TaxWiz was, like, one, till your systems come in. Yeah. To how I started off the episode, like, if you still running your tax prep business like a small business, then you going backwards. You need to be running this thing like an operation if you talking about taking this to the next level, to actually making money, to really, 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 really making as much money as you can in 3 months and not having to work. So what we learned, the first thing was we had to systematize. We had to get out the whiteboard. Now, I already know everybody go from the whiteboard, keeping up with their stuff, to the spreadsheet, right? So we went through the spreadsheet phase too. Ooh. You know what I'm saying? Like we putting up the spreadsheets and who doing what and who where and looking at all these things. Not efficient either. We had to systematize to another level too, right? And then the second thing we learned was you end up got to know taxes. One of the biggest things that we found out was people know software, but they don't know taxes, right? So we got really, really, really good at like, how do we actually learn the subject? How do we even break it down? So what we even created now, we got an academy that allows you to do like Beyonce taxes, you know what I'm saying? Or like do simulations of all of the different things that you'll run into as a tax preparer so that you can actually understand the concept of taxes too, like to a whole different degree, and now be able to get people way more money. And now it's just a ripple effect and all of those kind of things, right? And then we also learned that, so it was like systems, it was learning the subject, and then it was learning, you know, the marketing piece too, right? So we kind of touched on it a little bit, and I want to give them like some of the sauce, right? So we set up this thing at that time called like Revolutionaries or whatever that turns into the Wizard program, but this is the first iteration of it. And what we was doing was being able to give people a percentage of every return that they sent us. Now the key to this, right? And I'll let you talk about the tactical, but the key to this is, see, a lot of tax pros, they go make a referral like, hey, you are my customer, you know, I'm gonna give you $40 for everybody that you send me, which works. But when you make people feel like they're a part of your business, say, hey, I want you to work with me and I'm gonna give you another income, right? And they're like, oh, okay, how does that work? You see how easy it was and how good I did on your tax return? Well, now you can get 20% of every return that you come through right there on the spot. And now you got you a passive side business. It's still a referral program, ultimately. But now people are like, oh, snap, yeah, I got me a little tax business, a side passive income business. And now they helping you grow like drastically. It's a win-win because now they got them a little side business. They feeling motivated to actually go out and get a bunch of people instead of a 1, 2, 3 off referral. And we start doing that at scale. They start compounding their customers every single year. And next thing you know, you got somebody sending you 100 clients a year and posting your stuff like it's theirs and so on and so forth, right? Now the tangibles of how to run the play, we got that on our webinar. Check us out, you know what I'm saying? But you can give some of it.
Yeah. I think you broke it down best, man. I think you broke it down best in the sense that, like, no, like it's all about how you frame it, right? So if you frame it as, hey, I want you to be like a brand ambassador for me. I want you to like just like refer people to me, right? Then it's like they're gonna give you like referral effort. But if you frame it in the way like, no, like I want you to help me build this business. You're a massive part of it. Hey, do this thing and help it go to the next level. Then it's like, nah, you got a loyalist now. Yep. You got a real loyalist. But the tricky part is, right, it's easy to keep up with it like with one person, right? When you get to 50 people that are like that, and those 50 people all bring you, let's say 20 returns a piece now, but now that's 1,000 returns. So your office went from 50 returns to now 1,000 returns. Yep. It's a whole different ball game, yep. Right? So one of the things that we get into is just like, no, like you got to now manage businesses on two fronts. Because like, yeah, you still got the customers who you serve and you prepare taxes for, but now you also have a team now, right? You also have a team and you got to keep up with how their pay works, right? Are you recording all the things that you need to accurately and necessary to make sure that they're motivated to keep selling? Because if you miss their pay, they're going to fall off. And now you lose some of those clients because they're really loyal to the team. They're not necessarily loyal to the business yet, right? I think the next element, kind of to what Tevin said, is you got to look into promoting them, right? So what do I mean by that, right? I got this thing, right? It's like, hey, you're not the star, right? You're not the star. put them in light, right? I think the thing with business owners at time is like, hey, I always have to be the spotlight. I always have to do the front facing things. I always need to be in front of the camera. And what we did really, really well is like, we gave people platforms, right? So it's like, hey, now we're going to do a media day. Come out, get professional headshots for yourself to promote your business, to promote your passive side of income, right? Get some free shirts. Hey, let's record some videos. Let's make it fun. Let's do the things, right? But in return, that gives them the leverage they need to go out to their community, to go out into their network. And if you do that, right? Because I know, like I said, a lot of people like, no, it got to be my face, though. It's like, no. Leverage those people around you. Then they in return leverage their networks. Now your business is the one that's front facing. And when your business is the one front facing, you're getting paid every single time.
That's how you grow. Yeah. And that's dope, because what I took from that is, how do you make it foolproof for them, right? This is where a lot of people go wrong in business in general. And it clicked when you said this, is I go up to you and I say, hey, you want to be a partner? And they say, yeah. Cool. All right, let's do it. All you got to do is promote. Well, to your point, okay, what does that look like? I might make a post once. I might ask a couple people, but you didn't give me the things, right? That was one of the biggest things that we did. So the breakdown of, hey, we're going to do an upfront cost of recording, editing, taking some pictures. Luckily, we have somebody on the team who could do that. But buy like a little media space or whatever the case is, so that like you got no excuse. We done gave you X amount of content. You got some pictures to post. You got some graphics. You got all of these different things. I'm giving you what you need to be successful. So now, I'm giving you a formula, right? Every single time. And even as you grow and get bigger, like when you talking about hiring, like you mentioned that, like, when you had 1,000 returns, you're dealing with a team and all of this kind of stuff. Well, guess what? How do you give them the tools to not fail, right? At the end of the day, right? And what I mean by that is I've already thought through what has worked, right? So here's the material, whether you got to go to like a website like Fiverr, $20, $30, whatever, and help make them some of the posts or whatever the case is. Or here goes the system, kind of hand to hand, whatever the case, and be able to give them every single thing that they need to succeed. Because when you do that, like, it make people like, yeah, I'm going to post you. Like, it's one thing to ask somebody, hey, can you refer? And it's another thing to say, hey, send them this, because that works when you refer. You get what I'm saying? You gotta put people in a position to win. And I'm gonna tell every business owner out there that's listening, if your people aren't winning, it's not their fault, it's your fault. Yep. Right? Me and Tevin had this saying, basically, at the root cause of any problem, when it refers to business, right? The root cause of any problem ultimately goes back to management, ultimately goes back to leadership, ultimately goes back to the executive. So if you're the CEO of your business and somebody on your team isn't performing the way how they need to, you have to reevaluate what you gave them. What position did you put them in, right? So it's like, I remember, it's so crazy. I remember, like, we had some team members or whatever doing returns for us, or like doing the things, and they just weren't producing effectively, right? And we're like, dang, what's going on with them? Oh, they're lazy. Oh, they're this. Oh, they're that. And it's like, no, like, our business wasn't set up for a remote team. Yeah. It just wasn't. It's like, we're basically paying people, but we're not monitoring what they got going on. And then when you took it a step further, you realize, like, oh, snap, like, they don't even necessarily know what to do. So we're like, why aren't they finishing these returns? But it's like, we didn't teach them how to do a Schedule C return. We didn't teach them how to do earned income credit. We didn't teach them how to do a 1098-T. So when you really look at it, it's like, hold up. It's not that they don't know. It's not their fault. It's our fault as leadership for not giving them the tools needed to win. Because when you give your team the tools needed to win, your business starts winning. And ultimately, that's where everybody wants to be. Yeah. Nah, I definitely agree with that. So I think kind of the last part of those early days, so, we was able to muffle our way through, what I'm saying? Like doing the taxes ourselves and all of those kind of things. And then kind of going into year 2 where we had cracked the code on like the brand ambassadors and all of that stuff. And I think that what made us now go to like the next level. So how we talked about like not hustling backwards was where we transitioned into starting TaxWiz, right? So we did that for 2 years, kind of what we talked about. And then we transitioned into TaxWiz in a world of how do we actually build, run, and look like big business. And that's on the next episode. Shout out to you. Appreciate you.